there is an adage in my place that when you become a man, you cannot become anything else. You can grow from child to youth, from youth to being a man. If you grow to be a man, you cannot become anything else. So what does it mean? It means be bold enough to say it the way it is as a man. What do you lose?
Yeah.
What is the risk? You will die. And what if you don't say it, you will still die?
Yeah.
So now Nigeria is 61 years old. You need to take responsibility. I know, like I always say, that the Western world, like you have clearly stated, they will never stop. They don't have any intention to stop. But the question is, what about you, Africans, Nigerians? What are you going to do about it? Because the question doesn't depend on who is flogging you. Of course, he probably is happy to flog you. But the question is, are you happy to receive the slashes? Are you happy to receive the cane? If you don't, if you're not happy about it, then do something. If you don't do something about it, you don't blame it on the person who is flogging you.
Yes.
We know, because looking at Nigeria from the point of view of security, that what is building as a security threat in Nigeria today, even if it happens, it's not going to be for our interest, because the one that have happened before has not been for our interest. The best alternative is to avoid it so that we can live. I don't want my father, my mother, my brother, my sister to die.
Yeah.
So what can I do? And another thing is that, because we have also said that this nonchalant attitude of saying it is not my business, we know it is your business. If Nigeria go rotty, you rotty with Nigeria if you are a Nigerian.
Yes.
And of course, even if you are in Nigeria, maybe you run to the United States or run to Europe, or you are still rotting, because it means you have no country anymore.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it is your responsibility, whether you are in Nigeria or you are somewhere else, do something about it. So Absolutely. This is the how. What can we do? Because now, the process of bringing people to power might not necessarily be all of it within our control. Even here in Europe, sometimes their government can also be manipulated by some other persons, you know? Because this is power. This is a human society. There must be control. Somebody must control another person somehow. Even in the animal world, they do control themselves too. So, for the fact that there is going to be control, someone wants to control you, there is no two ways about it. As long as you are not strong enough to stand for yourself, you will stand on the direction of another person. Now, how can we begin to stand for ourselves? What do we need to do? Where do we need to start?
What we need to do is correctional services. We need to establish correctional services. I don't mean in the force, but I mean organizations of induction. Constant inductions to our people, constant training to reprogram our understanding of just saying we are an African, so we are not born to the leadership. We are born to be the followers. No, nobody is born to constantly be a follower. We have terms that changes. We need to reprogram the mindset of our people, of getting into that seat of power, knowing that they are going to serve, knowing that a lot has been placed on them, knowing that to whom much is given, much is expected. Not just going the moment or celebration of merriment, that, oh, I've merited to be here. Now it is time to make money. We need to establish organizations, I repeat, that will move to our local constituencies and induct our people and reprogram their reasoning and understanding. Otherwise, we will continue to have those who have money but have no brain sitting on our positions. And we will continue to be those who have a lot to say, but have no money. But I'm saying this so that we all will sit down and understand that we all have roles to play. It is not when you say, oh, to God, O Israel, he's the king, or he is the president, so let him do what he wishes. No, whatever he wishes to do should be your command, because you place him there, and you place him there to represent you. So he cannot authoritatively rule the nation without your say. We also should learn to be democratic, as they said it. We also should learn to be free in that democracy. We should not always be afraid of our government not having the freedom of speech. There should be a forum for criticism, not strict. For instance, the southern region where I stay, I can dress on a militant dress and walk around. I don't know of Italy, if that is also applicable.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can dress the way you want. Nobody harasses you.
The way you want, you know. But even in Nigeria till tomorrow, you dare not try to wear even a t-shirt that looks like a military cap. They will flog you home. Let there be freedom. Let's start with freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom of dressing. I don't say freedom to our morals, but freedom of this can lead to correctionals. And let us have correctional services, correctional organizations in our local constituencies. This is my suggestion for now.
Thank you very much for that. Now we are moving towards the end of the podcast. Now we make mention of a number of things that are important, no? Like crisis is not going to benefit us in any way. And we have also talked about the fact that our institutions, the government that we have, are not working to solve the problem that we have. Like I always say, when Obasanjo became the president of Nigeria, which was 1999, that was the time that the military eventually stopped their administration, that they returned to the barrack. The problem of Nigeria was already clear. We wanted light, stable light in Nigeria. These are not the only problem, but at least these are the primary one. We need infrastructure. Okay. We need the road to be built. We need to be able to feed ourselves. All these have been the issue. Instead, the government that we have had up until this moment create problem and attempt to solve the problem. What I mean is this one. If there was no Boko Haram issue, the question Nigeria will be asking their government is, what are you doing about the light? Because you say you were going to solve the problem of light. But since they decided to create Boko Haram issue, security problem, tension, dying, fear, you can't ask questions about other things where there are more other pressing needs, like being alive. So we must understand that this is also a game. They are playing a game on you. They don't want to solve the real problem. They therefore have created their own problem to solve. And they're not even solving the problem. They're just playing on your intelligence. And we know this because everybody are not just stupid. But what we are saying now, what the Nigerians are saying at 61 is that we want the government that can solve the real problem. And the real problem are like having stable light, having food, having jobs. We don't need any miracle to do this. We don't need prayer. We don't need fasting. We need real solution. Now, the question I will ask you, sir, is putting this as in context, knowing that this is a situation, what is your own vision of Nigeria going forward? What kind of a vision do you see?
All right. Moving forward as a Nigerian, and the vision that I could see towards Nigerians is based on what you say. If we can have a true leader who will come on board and begin to do all what you have mentioned right now, begin to construct roads, infrastructures, listen to his people, give ear to their complaints, and not still say you are a civilian president, but yet you are a military president. You become militant in that democratic elected position. We do not need that. So my vision is, if all these are done, then Nigeria will be a better place to live. It will be a better country, because people will then begin to relax and see that their leaders are taking charge, begin to see the infrastructure developing on a daily basis. To tell you the truth, Nigerians are very strong, industrious people that I have ever wished to be a Nigerian, even if I reincarnate again and again. Why? Because our people are like the Jews. They make money where there is no money. They can sit together and make money out of nothing. They study a certain situation and they create money out of that situation. So what am I trying to say? Our people actually, you see, in every content, whatever that forces you to be bad can as well force good things on you. There might be advantage of such. Our people have learned to be industrious, self-reliance. We have learned to be so strong in everything we are doing, believing that money must come out of it. So what am I trying to say? That an average Nigerian doesn't even need the government. Like the southern part where I am, there are grants. They go to collect grants. Who is interested on grants in Nigeria to face the reality? Most of them do not even know what is grant. You tell them that, what is that? But here, there are grants for children that has no father. There are grants for women that have no husband. There are grants and grants and grants for this and that. Nigerians don't need that. They have learned to be the hard type, the diehards. So what they need is just this electricity. Infrastructure, beautiful infrastructures, roads constructed. Nigerians will say hallelujah to that. So my vision for Nigeria is that if all these things are done, if we begin to have leaders who can say, okay, before I start consuming to my pocket, even if I must consume, let me create roads, put infrastructures in place, do beautiful things, recreational centers and social gathering places. You will see that Nigerians will look out from his personal consumption. I'm telling you, the vision is Nigeria will be a wonderful place. Will be an abode, a place to stay or reckon with. But without all this, there will be more agitations. Uhuru, Africa.